most women only really have one, maybe two, if three guys ever court them for marriage.
Hmm. It's that dire. And
That's
that's
why
probably oh,
Kevin Samuels is the godfather because he told the truth to women. He said, you know, women control access to sex, men control access to relationship and marriage.
mhm. Dude, that is four. I mean, no, three is that's a small number. Jesus Christ. And that's probably at the best of times, I imagine. If we're talking like in today's man, most women don't even get the opportunity to get courted.
Right.
And you start to kind of realize this with the behavior. It's like most women don't know how to behave in the presence of a man. That's one thing I'm starting to discover. Like they just don't know what to do with you when you have a discipline about yourself.
Cause they don't. Seriously, they don't. You got to take most square chicks, man. They game goofy. No one's ever laced them with game. They like a brand new pair of tennis shoes. They look good, but nobody ever laced them up.
Hmm.
You ever see some new shoes in the box?
Yeah.
It looked
They look
good,
clean.
but the tongue was what all flopping out the top.
Right. Makes sense. Yeah, that's the thing I noticed. That game goofiness is it's a real, how can I put it? All they got is like the introduction.
Right.
But outside of the introduction, they don't know how to garner your attention and keep it. And keep you wanting to have that desire to want to keep spending time with them. Because I think most women, like you said, they're so used to the pussy fiend character of a guy that they think, oh, I just present myself and that's all I gotta do. But when you come into a guy that's actually on business, he's taking care of purpose, you got to make him desire to want to be hanging with you or be with you.
Right. You got to give him a reason to be into you.
And it can't just be the sex because you could buy it. Especially if
That's why.
Oh, go ahead.
That's why women do horrible. That's what I say. Kevin Samuels was the godfather because he let women know where they really stood with high value men. A woman could get a sex trick any day of the week. All she got to go is any four-way corner, any stop sign, and open up business, open up her legs. But she can't do that with a high value man because now he has options.
This is true. And not just options with women, but just options to do with things in his life, to place his time in other places.
Right.
Like I remember Patrice says something. Patrice O'Neal says something that's always very funny to me. He's like, my girl is the fifth most important thing in my life. There's my career, my life, my happiness, and he's like, my fish, and she might mess around and be behind the fish you keep playing around. And it was funny because I think, like, as a man, you get to a certain point where it's like, man, I got so much to do every day. It's like, for you to come in my life, like, we have to be doing something productive. Me just looking at you and you being pretty, how long can that last? That's just a dead weight relationship. It's a dead weight relationship. And anybody who's a businessman, your whole purpose of business in life is to cut out the fat. Get out the shit that is holding the business back. And that's a dead weight woman is holding the business of your life back.
Right.
And it's like one of the things I started to really pick up with in at least my mind. It's like when I'm looking at a relationship now, I'm not looking at like, okay, this could be a girlfriend for a year. We just have some fun. It's like, I'm looking at like, can we do a decade? Can we get 20 years out of this? Because if we can't even get a decade, what the fuck are we even here for? I'm not going to waste the time trying to teach you shit. What's the point? I'm not invested.
Right.
It's like dealing with a student or a coach. I've been dealing with, as a coach, you're dealing with a player that doesn't want to practice, doesn't want to eat right. You look at this motherfucker, why would I give you a scholarship for 4 years? I got to deal with this bullshit. No. Let me go find somebody who actually wants to try.
Somebody who want to be there. Somebody who's qualified.
Mm-hmm.
So we get back to that square one. Remember, I was telling you about the foundational square is equity when it comes to men of power.
Mm. That equity is such an important. As I'm getting older now, it's like because once you start to really build something, you put your sweat, your blood into it. That shit means the world to you. You protect that. You go to the ends of the world to make sure that shit is safe and correct. And it's like you just got to figure out how to get your girl or anybody that you're dealing with to have equity in the time that we spend together.
Uh-huh.
And I realize a lot of guys, a lot of young men, what they're lacking in today's world, maybe just in today's current era, there's no equity within other people. Like a lot of guys just go out and they bullshit their time away. That's why they're so quick to the relationships they unravel when there's any type of friction with a girl. It's like you guys have no mutual benefit of interacting with each other.
Mm.
Besides,
That's right.
Besides this idea of like having fun. That's why I laugh at these niggas that be talking about be the fun guy with your girl. What? You spoiling her. You making it harder for me. You giving her that candy diet. And it's a fascinating how can I put it?
I would say be that foundational guy. You can't. There are some people in your life that are so foundational that no one can replace them.
That's real. And how do you
My ex was oh, go ahead.
No, go please continue.
My ex was getting courted. She was with an NFL coach, and she called me. In my mind, at the time, I'm having financial issues. I'm going through all kinds of shit. Like, what the fuck, man? That's an NFL. Why are you calling me? Equity. That's why. Because when you take your time, you lay a foundation, and you build properly, you know. People know. Just like when you work with children.
They'll never forget you.
They never forget. Children, I've seen children that I haven't seen in decades. Oh, Mr. Such and Such. I remember when you told me this to put on the coat and respect my parents, and they remember. You know?
And this is the thing that like sticks with me. What are you implanting, I guess, in their soul or in their mind or in their spirit that is the foundation? Like what would you call that? If there's a word for it. Like the pillar in their mind, if you guess you would say. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you making sense. I just say foundation. What I never wanted any child to say, I led down the wrong road. I don't know if my conscience could hold on to that. No, I say I did me. And if you was affected by me doing me, that's on you. But I don't want them to say I purposely led them down the wrong road. Like I told them to get in the gang, or I told them that the criminal justice system was easy or some shit. Tell nobody that bullshit. I'm not doing it. Somebody else can do it. I ain't doing it. I'm gonna tell you the truth. You gonna get the truth from me. You be in the streets long enough, some bullshit gonna happen. You be in jail long enough, some bullshit gonna happen. You be in fights long enough, some bullshit gonna happen. You ain't gonna be in gangs long enough for somebody gonna kill you. At least you know the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna never say nobody ever came up to you and said I lied to you.
Then that kind of brings us, like with the truth. Does the truth create instincts? Like, what creates your instincts?
I think the truth gives you an avenue to look at, to face your instincts. That's what I think. I think there's one to get everybody.
Yeah. It's kind of lovely out here in Austin. It was 71 today. That shit's incredible. It's really unfair. So we're gonna have a hell of a harsh winter. But you said the truth gives you an avenue to use your instincts or to face your instincts.
Face them. Most people don't know their instincts. Excuse me.
No, you're all good. Most people don't know their instincts.
But when you deal in truth, you have one direction you can go, like forward. You can't go backwards. Because if you go backwards, then you're not dealing with truth.
You're running from it.
To the truth, that's one thing about the truth. It forces you to go forward. You can't go forward with a lie. You're going backwards.
So why do you think people continue? Like, do you think human instinct is to lie or to be truthful, or is it a self-taught environmental thing?
I don't think it's self-taught. I think it's society-driven. Society indoctrinates you to get comfortable with the lie. Because the comfort with the lie keeps other people in power.
So you can almost say truth disperses power, and a lie allows power to be concentrated in one point. I guess you could say that.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. If I called you, not me personally, but if somebody called you and they said, AJ, I'm outside your crib. It is 10 dudes that are armed walking up to the crib right now. It's 3 a.m. That information is going to cause you to jump the fuck up.
Yeah.
Your instincts kick in. And you're going to see if it's true or not. If it's true, you do what? Move forward and face it, deal with it.
Yeah, get armed. Can't pretend like it's not coming.
Right. So if it's not true, you're going to move backwards. You're not going to be prepared. You're not going to be ready. So that's how I look at the truth. The truth has always helped me. It's never, even if I don't like the truth, it still always prepared me.
Right. Yeah, that's no lie. Your life only gets better once you accept it, because then you can start to build from it.
Yeah.
It's like if you got like a swampy soil, and you try to build on it, You can lie to yourself and say, I can build on this shit, and your house is going to tip over and eventually flood. Or you can acknowledge the truth and say, I got to move to someplace else with better soil that's more stable.
Right.
I think that's a lot of dudes. That could be translated to a lot of guys in relationships. Like I think one of the things I know is when I'm in bad relationships, you can feel it.
Right.
Every man knows you have that feeling. It's like, man, I'm not like, what are we really doing? I'm not really happy. It's like I'm getting sex every once in a while, but it's like I'm not. And a lot of guys don't want to acknowledge that internal gut feeling. I guess your instincts, you would say. They try to shield themselves from the truth, but it just makes it worse.
Yep. Because now you're moving backwards. It's like, to me, it's like NFL, forward motion.
You said like NFL, like forward motion?
Yeah. The rule of forward motion.
You can't have forward motion.
Yeah. You know, whatever you're dealing with, did you stop, or will you stop moving forward, or will you stop moving backwards? I'd rather be stopped moving forward than try to be stopped moving backwards. To be get as forward as I'm gonna get. Because football is a game of inches, and football is like life. It's a game of inches. It's a game of inches, and it's a game of position. And you got all these guys grueling it out for 2 hours, 3 hours. And a lot of times, the game is decided by a kicker.
Yeah, that's funny. It is really like life. And like one of the things you start to realize about football, one of the most amazing part when you play with a team is like you realize like how you started and began the season, the ebbs and flows and the evolution of the team throughout the time is much like your life. There's injuries, which are setbacks for your team. There's losses. There's people making jumps and leaps. There's unexpected just changes in like unpredictable terrain. You have away games, you have home games, but you start to realize the chaos of it. You can deal with most of it if you stick to the practice regimen. If you stick to the regimen of what you're supposed to be doing, which is hit the weight room, hit the film, practice, play the game.
Study your opponent.
Study yourself.
All the basics. Yeah, study yourself. All the basics, you know.
And it's like you realize so many people, so many men in life, they don't take the time to study themselves because you understand that you're like the topic saying, instincts and projections. So much of your instincts are already there for you. It's just a lot of times you don't take time to study. Why do I feel this way? Why does when this motherfucker say something to me, it gives me a particular irk? Why when this bitch is annoying me? Why do I feel the rage to just to lie? Why do I feel the inkling to lie or instinct to lie to her? Why do I want to go to work? Why do I like my job? You don't ever study
yourself.
Yeah, and why you feel certain ways about things.
Yeah.
And my larger like idea is like how to get guys to start to recognize that gut feeling, because I don't know if everybody actually like feels it.
They do. They just lie to yourself. You just lie to yourself. No, I'm serious. That's what happens.
It's just it's such a strange thing, and I think a lot of times you can get away with lying with yourself as long as your basic needs are kept.
Yeah. See, the real world is like casino. You gonna cut deals. We just cut deals with life. That's all. I got comfortable learning how to cut deals. You know, all right. I'm not gonna get the kitchen sink, but I'll take it. I take some liquid detergent. You know,
Right.
as long as my hands are clean, I'm all right. Because for okay, when you become a man, everything's not going to go the way I want it to. Matter of fact, far less things are going to go the way you want them to than you think. So you start bracing yourself for the impact.
Contingency plans it.
Right. Okay. I know I'm not going to, as a first time home buyer, I know I'm not going to qualify for that $25 million mansion. Because how likely is that? It's very unlikely. First time home buyer? Come on.
That's a big one.
Who's going to trust you with a $25 million mortgage?
Not a fucking soul. And if they do, those niggas are dumb. They should be out of business.
Right. It's unlikely. That's why I tell guys. For me, it was early on. I used to laugh, and I still laugh about it. I used to watch porn. Porn taught me to, motherfucker, you ain't no big dick motherfucker. So you can't use that dick game shit.
I think that's a crucial point in manhood. I think for all guys, when you learn that your dick game, it can't be, you can't be leading with it. At a certain point, you got to realize I got to be able to get her up here.
Right.
if you think you can fuck a woman to loving you and care about you, you are in for some deep shit, my friend. You gonna be hurt.
I would have been committed suicide years and years ago.
That's to be the cherry on top. That's to be the cherry on top.
Right. I say everything else, baby. If you look for a big dick, man, you better go fuck the dog with Delta. I don't have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Because people thinking you got dark skin, you got a big dick. You're like, no. I wasn't blessed to take it. What I can tell you is, you know what I'm saying, how to get out of a bad situation. I can teach you how to stay free. I can teach you how to, you know what I'm saying, keep the law and the sheriff off your ass. There's a lot I can teach you. But dude, I'm not Mandingo or Mr. Marcus and none of the people. Ain't nothing, motherfuckers.
You know what? That's the funnier thing when you start talking about cutting deals. One of the things you realize along this lines, we call like cutting deals. Is like as a man, you gotta realize, okay, I'm not Big Dick Derek, and I'm also not Mr. Scrooge McDuck with the cash flow,
right,
or whatever that. Yeah. So it's like you gotta realize, okay, if I'm not bringing all that, what am I bringing to a deal that I can bring forward to a woman that can get her to want to submit and run the game together? If that makes some sense. Right. And this is where you start to distill your manhood, where you can get rid of all of the bullshit, where you can just say, look, I just know how to think. Like you say, I'll keep you out of bad positions. Like you might not get the $25 million home, but guess what? We can fuck around and get a $1 million home. Does that sound like a deal to you? What else do you got right now going on for yourself?
Right. Right.
I think that's the huge part. Oh, go ahead.
We may not be Hollywood rich, but guess what? We could both shoot for credit scores of being above 700 and having at least 5,000, 10,000 in liquid at all times. We could shoot for having a full refrigerator fully stocked. We could shoot for having health care. We could shoot for dental and physical. We could shoot for life insurance policies. These are things I always tell guys, be realistic. You would never know how far that'll take you with a woman is being realistic.
Literally, even a little bit further, we could shoot for giving our kids the possibility of being billionaires. We don't have to be millionaires, but our kids could be fucking billionaires if we set this thing up right. And see, that's what guys. This is where your instincts. Like, how can I put it? I'm getting ready for a fight, so I've been game planning because I plan on fighting sometime in February. And so I got out the notebook and I'm looking at myself. I'm looking, okay, what are my strengths? All right, we got speed, agility, quickness, power, blah, blah, blah. What's my weakness? Okay, I don't know my endurance. I don't know what my chin looks like. I don't have the ability to spar. My experience is low. And I started looking at, okay, what tools do I got, the amount of time, and what fits my body type in my current position. And the more I started to really look at my avenues of victory, when I really broke it down and distilled it, okay, what can I execute that with the tools and shit that I have today? What can give me the best chance of being in a position to win in sometime in February? And I think a lot of guys got to start looking at that when it comes to just
life.
Yeah, life, your woman, your money, your business, your health.
Yeah.
Even more important, your health. Where am I at now? How much time do I have available? What can I use in my disposal to get me in the best position to be healthy a year from now? And see, that's the new game that I'm starting to fall in love with, because then you're able to hone your instincts. Because I almost want to say instincts is like a mixture of like your environmental, I guess you would say, the constant patterns that you see within your environment. And then you kind of hone how to behave when you're in that environment. So like if you want to be a great business person, develop great business instincts and making deals, well, you got to put yourself in an environment where you're always with people who are making deals, so you get to understand and read the body language, read the environment, so you become a part of it almost. You start to mold yourself to it. I had a friend, he called it the inoculation of stress, or stress inoculation. Yeah, and for those who are not familiar with the word inoculation, it essentially means to expose heavily and to adapt in, I guess you would say. Is that the correct word for inoculation?
I believe so.
Yeah. And too often men, they just assume that you're going to just develop this shit out of nowhere without stressing yourself or without testing yourself. And this is why I started to realize with like the women thing with a lot of guys with chicks, if you're so worried about getting ass, you fail to inoculate yourself in the leadership role of being a man in a relationship. Because you're not going to just all of a sudden be a husband. It doesn't fucking work that way.
Exactly. Those skill positions like quarterback and wide receiver.
Mm.
You can't just go. It's not like O-line where you can just go stand up and just block.
Yeah, it's just willpower.
Right.
You can't outwill a bitch. She gonna beat you.
Because they've been skills since the time they came out the womb.
Mm.
You know, and guys need to realize that leadership is a skill. It's not a desire. You can have it as a desire, but it's a skill.
Mm.
You've got to be able to assess. You've got to be able to analyze, and you've got to be able to communicate and convey principles of progress to someone else who either is more intelligent or less intelligent than you. It really don't matter. But you got to be able to sell them on the concept of progress.
And there's a huge concept, I know they say in sales, the belief. It's like if you truly don't believe in the will of your spirit, what you telling somebody, they ain't buying it.
No, they're not.
And they can tell. Motherfuckers think niggas are retarded. Like they can't, like it comes back to that instinct thing. Some people like they can't tell that, hey, look, I'm not believing what you're telling me right now. It's like I can't feel the vibration that's supposed to be coming out your spirit to sell me on what you're trying to give me. And the same thing, like when it comes to like a chick where guys trying to sell her on the idea that we can marry, we can live together, and like they're selling a relationship, but they're not explaining what really is the relationship. What's the, because they haven't thought about it.
Right.
Niggas with
they
no
don't know it.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm agreeing with you. They don't know.
Right. In the first step of leadership, you got to be able to lead yourself. You got to be able to develop a map for yourself and follow that.
Right.
Like one of the things I had today I was working with an older lady. I was telling her about the maces and the clubs. I sent her the link, and I brought it and showed her what I was doing. And she wants to start working with me. And one of the reasons is like because when I was selling her the idea, it's like I have 3 years of doing this, 3 or 4 years of doing this. I know the roadmap. I've seen what it does because I've done it for myself. So when I'm talking to you, you're feeling the experience that I've went through. I'm basically selling you on the experience that I had. And most guys, they try to lead a relationship, but nigga, you haven't led yourself. You went from your mama's crib to basically going with a girlfriend who's like your secondary mama.
Right.
And you can't even tell her from the how can I put it? You can't even sell her the idea that you have a lifelong plan because nigga, what you've been following her plan. So why the fuck does she want to listen to you? It's very like I think a lot of guys and once again, it's that extinctual thing. A lot of guys they're projecting what they believe themselves as onto the woman. So they think she's gonna follow just because how he kind of views himself to some degree. If I'm making some sense. And that projection thing of how people
you make a perfect sense.
Yeah, how people they will call you stupid or dumb because they don't understand what you're saying to them. And it's like, nigga, how am I the dumb one? Why don't you ask me better questions so you can understand? If I don't understand something, I ask more questions. Clarify for me, please. Can you rephrase that? And motherfuckers be like, oh, you should just know already. Well, nigga, it's like, well, nigga, if I knew, I wouldn't be asking you. I would be able to respond.
Knowledge doesn't come through osmosis. It comes through observation.
And interaction. Testing.
Right. Trial and error.
And it's like that projection thing. You kind of see what in the fight community where people think like you ever heard about a guy that thinks he could beat up a pro fighter because yeah.
They're called lunatics.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Yeah.
It's because they never
been in the ring.
Yeah. So they're projecting like their experience of beating up fucking random drunk niggas at a bar onto trained killers.
Professional fighter, right.
And you would think in your head with all logic, this guy should know that he should not be fucking with this trained killer. Why is he fucking with this trained killer? And you realize that projection shit is strong. That what people believe in their mind is truly reality. At least to them.
Yeah. It's like that R. Kelly, I believe I can fly. You take your ass out there, you get dusted.
Dusted. And then they're surprised. And one of the other funny things is like when that happens, they're surprised. Yeah. They're generally like flabbergasted, like, what the fuck? And I think a good example of this was if you got a chance to watch Tyson Fury fight Francis Ngannou. Tyson.
And by the way, I'm just getting a chance to fix my nose while you know.
But I saw this because we all had this projection or this idea that a boxer should be superior to somebody who's never fought that happens to just do MMA. Now, is there some type of crossover? Yeah, they both punch each other in the face, but I was like in my mind, it has been projected to me that due to a lack of observations and experience, my projection was the boxer should beat the fuck out of an MMA guy. And when we actually watched the practicality of what happened in that fight, we learned, oh, boxing's not actually what we think it is. There's only striking. And apparently, if an MMA guy who has no amateur, he has no experience doing this, and he went and fought the best of all time, somebody who's the heavyweight champion, and he fought him to a pretty good match, my instincts are off because I had misinformation. I was projecting what I believe from what I've been told, and from, I guess you would say, propaganda. And you started, and one of the things that kind of opened my mind more so than anything is I started to really look at how much is information, outside information, clouding my judgment on other decisions that I make or other things that I think about that are real. Because if I got that one that horribly wrong, what else am I getting wrong in life?
That's a great question. That's an advanced question. That's a progressive question. Damn, that's a really good question. Shit.
Yeah, one of the things when we started to first meet, when you started teaching about like establishing my manhood, reestablishing my manhood, when I started to realize with relationships, damn, I had this whole thing mixed up. I had the wrong type of goals, the wrong type of mindset. How far off was I from what an actual relationship is? And now I start to realize, oh, like you used to tell me, most women that you come across not really worth your time. I now understand that now. I used to think this nigga's just bullshitting me.
Nah.
It's not to say that you can't, but it's just most of them, it's a waste of your breath.
Yeah. Because most in the Western world, most women they're taught to be finish line friends. They're taught to go stand by the finish line and wait for the motherfucker who, you know what I'm saying, is in first place.
Which is a horrendous strategy. It's amazing a lot of women have been conned to that.
It worked though.
Does it? What's up?
She wants a winner.
I would think if you think about, well, once again, I think women kind of think of it in all or nothing type quantities.
What you doing, big man? You all right?
Yeah.
You'll be more inclined to go probably find a dude that's like at 30 or 40%. Rock with him. Like I ain't say you gotta start at ground zero.
They don't think like that though.
Yeah, which is interesting. It makes you wonder, like,
because they're not. Remember I was talking about indoctrination. Women are always taught that they are the trophy. So the trophy goes to the what? Winner.
See, that's the reverse psychology.
Right. The trophy doesn't go to the E for effort, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
But what you don't even realize is like, nah, you actually are the one that needs to be competing for your trophy.
Right.
And you know what's interesting? There's a recent story. There's a woman, Simone Biles, the gymnastics.
Yeah. The chick with the pretty teeth.
Yeah. But she went and got
pretty smile.
Yeah, she went and got herself a man. Like some NFL dude. Yeah. And the dude was telling the story. He's like, yeah, I'm the prize. Like, she was driving 45 minutes to me. She was hitting me up on Instagram. She was putting a fucking consistent effort to be in my presence. So I'm like, fuck you. Like, she trying this hard. Let me see what she got. What she's working with. And now they married and all this shit. And it's interesting because she started getting a lot of hate that women basically say that can never be me. Imagine me trying to work for a man. It's like, well, shit. That's why you ain't got a man.
Right. I've been proposed to 3 times by women. And people be like, what? And I was like, yeah.
I've been told a woman she said she's going to trap me in a year if we don't get married.
So but then I had to realize what their option was out there. And if I was them, I would have did the same thing that they did. There's some sorry motherfuckers out there. I'm sorry, man.
No, you ain't lying.
Just because I'm a man don't mean I'm not gonna tell the truth. There's some sorry ass motherfuckers out there.
I was speaking about this to a lot of brothers. I say, like the population of men. If you got 100 guys, 50 like if we got 100 guys, 50 of them just ain't got no shot. Like 50 of them just finish out the gate. Maybe just like bad genetics, just unfortunate that way, uneducated, illiterate. And then if you break it down to the last 50, shit, 35 of those niggas are like, I would say, tools, where they have the look, they look good, but they basically the walking dildo community is what I call them.
Right.
They can maintain a job and they can fuck you. That's about it. That's all they got for you.
They're just a warm deal, though.
Yeah. And then you only get a couple guys out there that are true thinkers, visionaries, who actually could get you a plan in your life. And like, if you take 100 women, shit, 70 of them are gonna be good looking.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, because it really don't take much for a woman to be like, unless a woman's just really facially challenged. If she keeps herself in shape, man, for the most part, she's good.
Yeah.
So it's like the competition is stiff, and I'll explain to brothers. You might mess around and find a white wife because the white woman population is way too out of control. There's not enough white dudes to maintain the same way there's not enough black dudes to maintain the black woman population. But the only difference is, like, there's how can I put it? Most of the women in today's society are going to be like, I guess you would say, squares. But there's not that there's a higher percentage of less squared white women, but it's just the vastly of the numbers. Because America is made up of white people, so the chances are you're going to come across a white woman who's not as square than you will come across a black woman who's not as square.
Right.
Even if the percentages are perfect, you would say 10% of the white woman population is square. It's like, what, black women you're dealing with 1 million, white women you're dealing with what, 20, 40 million. So I said, chances are you're gonna have to expand out if you want to try to get married. It's just interesting when you start to think about the numbers, and what other thing that brothers don't really realize is it's like your value, you're way more rare than you really understand. An Asiatic black man that's running a business, that's in shape, no records, no kids. Bro, it's your call.
Yeah.
It's
a good call too.
Yeah.
It's not a probation hold call.
So like that brother with Simone Biles, he's like, yeah, I fucking deserve it. Nigga, all the work I put in, you damn right you better put some work in to try to get me.
Right. Look at his teeth. He's a black man in America that got all his teeth.
That's fucked
up. Get that man on the street. God damn.
That shit funny. But it's like, I want, especially young black men, understanding your value. You can get out there and you can compete with anybody. There's nobody out here holding you back, because first of all, no men want to compete. Most guys are dropping out the game. They don't want to play. Right. So at this point, it's just like white dudes, Asian, everybody's just like, dude, can we just get some money together? Like, we don't have enough of us trying to actually do shit. So you can really run the gamut up. It's a beautiful time to be a man if you can get past the bullshit. Because the spoils are outrageous. They really are outrageous.
Well, they don't want you to get past the bullshit. They want you to get behind the bullshit, which is called bitch shit, and which is knocking most black men off the square anyway. Because they start acting like bitches, looking like bitches, dressing like bitches, and sounding like bitches.
Zesty ass motherfuckers. That's why I try.
They know that's going to repel the women, and that's going to cause division. Opposites attract. The bitch don't want no twin sister.
She wants a masculine man.
Right.
You're a gem. Guys don't understand masculinity in today's age. Well, it's always been this way. But it's like finding a fucking diamond or a ruby. Like, you don't understand the power that you hold. A lot of guys don't get it. If you just get past the youthful stage of trying to figure yourself out, that back end, gorgeous.
Let's keep it a buck. When it comes to black men, if you didn't know, I got a PhD in niggerology. Most black men were scarred into childhood because they would compete to be a man by their mother or with their mother. Their mama was trying to be a goddamn man. So they never established what a man is from a man's perspective. You got to catch what I'm saying to you. You will never be able to maintain in a bitch's domain. Just like a woman will never be able to maintain in a man's domain. Most black men, the first thing that come out their mouth is, man, my mama. And you go, nigga, you bitch, man. You sound like a bitch. You started with a bitch. And when you say that, and I will tell you how to test it. Don't do it without warning, because it could go. But this is how you test it. Say, hey man, you know your mama was a bitch before she was your mama. If a motherfucker can handle that, he's not bitch man. If he can't handle that, he's bitch man, dog.
That's funny.
Because before you was in the world, your mama was just another bitch. To somebody, she was just another bitch.
Not bad, not good. Just what it is.
It is what it is. But most black men, they can't handle the idea that their mama was just another bitch. My mama was a saint. My mama, she was born, nigga, Jesus, nigga, Jesus was coming out of high school when my mama was born. No. Your mama was just another bitch.
Doing the same thing that these bitches are doing to you. But putting a man through some bullshit the same way that these ones are putting you through. Your dad probably went through the same shit.
Yeah.
But the sad thing is you never had the man or the father around to be able to say, like, yo, she out of control. I'm sorry, nigga. I love you. I love you as a kid, but your mama out of control. And so most black men never get the man side of what the fuck happened. Because they've been sold on lies, they've been sold on the idea that he wasn't shit. Okay, why'd you choose to say shit nigga to have a kid with? How did nigga just become all ain't shit after you had kids with them?
Right.
Where was all these ain't shit tendencies prior to you all getting pregnant? And then that's the crazy part. Like, then niggas will tell you, oh, well, you know, guys change, men change. Okay. All right, bro. You right. You right, nigga. It's that projection shit. You start to realize that projections are strong. Yeah. Like a lot of men are really carrying the projection of their father from their fucking mama's mom, from their mama's mindset.
Right, because they're living through bitch hurt. And so now you wonder why all these motherfucking transgenders is out here.
Yeah.
Come on, a woman, and you go, okay, all right, Craig. No, I'm serious. I live this, not me personally, but I know somebody. I grew up with somebody who he started off really masculine, and he used to get on the bus, the school bus, and everything with nails and acting like a girl, walking like a girl. We knew he was gay and everything. When you like, okay, he, something going on with him. Somebody done touched him or something, But then when he broke down what was going on, you realize, damn, okay, this motherfucker making the transition, Well, nobody talk about why. Why do they? You got to remember to be gay is one thing, but to say I'm transitioning to be a woman is another thing. That because the epitome of your adult life and your aberration has to be a woman. There's only one place that can come from. That come from women.
Because they don't make no like you carry your mama's spirit like it. Because no man is gonna say to himself, "I need to become a woman." There's some type of advantage for me to become a woman.
Right.
Like, what the fuck, nigga? What are you talking about? What? It's like saying I need to become a giraffe. Why the fuck you need to be a giraffe for?
Right. I was really born an elephant.
It's not to demean it, but it's fucking confusing. To a man, you tell me that you're a woman and you're clearly got dick and balls. It's fucking confusing. You can justify, you can explain as much as well. You can write a whole soliloquy, write a book, make movies, documentaries. I'm still not going to get it.
I don't want to. It's like trying to explain the stock market to a dog. Like I
got nothing for you.
Like some of them be well endowed too. They really be blessed by the Creator. And I'd be like, man, if God gave me all of that, and I want to be a bitch, stop it.
It's fascinating. And so that mama spirit, that mama projection, it's like you start to realize like the man's pillars, it's weak ass pillars, but these pillars are being created in a boy's mind to start to be like a woman. But it's not a strong pillar because it's not anything, it's shaky at best. And that's why you start to notice. Yeah, that's why you start to notice as these men get older and reality starts to catch up, they have these mental breakdowns. They fucking lose their shit. They crash out over a woman, they go to jail, they go to prison. They just crash out.
That's right. Well, they kill women.
Because they think they are.
Right.
They think they're even terms.
And that's a problem.
Like I've seen that a couple times on talk shows where there'll be a transgender man talking crazy to a woman and they about to come to blows. I'm like, hold up a second, man. That's a fucking dude. Like she ain't even like the one getting ready to throw blows, but like just the idea, because as a man, it's like, man, there's nothing in this world. I can never see myself getting in a fight with a woman in any capacity. Like even if a bitch got a knife, man, get the fuck out of here. Pushing her out the way and just take off running. I'm running. She's not gonna catch me. So it's like the idea that I'm fighting and physically whooping a woman's ass. Like I don't even understand how you find yourself in a position, but somehow the transgender community and sometimes the gay community too, to some degree, they be going feisty, going back and forth with fighting with women. And it's like they use that camouflage or that projection that they are a woman, and they think that's how they really are, and they go out and they start squabbling. You realize that shit is dangerous.
Sad, dangerous and sad.
It's like, do you think women know that when they're supporting these particular groups, they're supporting their own, I'm not gonna say injustice, but their own demeaning of their own womanhood?
Yes and no. Many of them don't understand where it came from. It's a byproduct of feminism. A masculine woman is a byproduct of feminism. And so what happens is a lot of Asiatic black women bit off that tree and said, I'm the mama and the daddy. No, you the mama. You can't be one thing. That's a mama.
I experienced that, man. The women trying to take credit for father. I do the job of the father too. The fuck are you talking about? They want to get celebrated. They want presents on Father's Day too. That shit crazy. Legitimately crazy.
And you see how much damage it does down the road.
Because Because these young men, they have no self-esteem in being a man. They don't see what's the point. My whole life, my mom been demeaning men my whole childhood. And I'm growing to be one. And it's kind of like, well, I don't want to be a man. I like being a boy. I'm mama's boy. But what happens when I become mama's man? And so they try to either stay in regression, they stay in that boyhood state where they never grow up. They just live at the house. And mama's proud of you. Your mama's little man. Or they go that gay, sassy, sometimes or that zesty route where they go out in the free world. It's like a weird ass math equation.
Yeah.
Fucked up. But you watching it play out in human experiences. It's like I don't want to say I'm how can I put it? Something happens when you kind of get to a certain age in life where you can what you call it? How can I put it? It's like something happens where you can almost, I guess you call it like the math of life, but your interactions, like facial expressions, like growing up, you can kind of almost calculate somebody's chances to turn out a certain way.
Yeah.
And the older you get, the more refined you get to understand that. It's like, damn, you start to realize there's a lot of young black men that are just fucked.
Input in, input out, or input versus output.
Yeah, it's like it'll take a miracle, a whole revamp.
You can't put feminine energy into a being and expect it to have they're just, like you said, inoculation, osmosis, and know how to be a man. It don't work like that.
And if he does learn, it's gonna be the hard way, like the prison essentially. He's got to go in there with actual men, learn what the consequences of actions and words in the most harsh environment. And then hopefully he can reshape his life. Shit, 30, 40 years from now. I mean, 30 when he was 30 or 40. Getting out trying to figure shit out. It's like all that time wasted from the teens to your fucking 20s. And then you get out at 30 something, 40. All that just time just gone just to learn something that could have been solved if a man was around at fucking in the youth. And that's like a harsh fucking reality for the average your average Asiatic man.
That's why they end up going to prison.
Yeesh.
I just got some disheartening news about a young Asiatic I knew growing up from a single black mom. And you know what? He's on his way. They just got him with armed robbery. And it may be some gang-related charges in a red state.
Yeah, that's bad news.
No bond.
So what are you looking at, like 10 to 15?
Easy.
Minimum? Yeesh.
Probably 30. Because if you had the gang enhancements, they said it may get gang related as far as the why it happened.
Gone, just like that. Now you're away. You get out
First
what?
19 years old, young black man. No bond. You got to sit in trial.
That's it. And it's not even that you can't be a successful, productive citizen, but it's like you just all that youth, all that time, energy has to be wasted away into a prison. And then you get out at 50. Then what? Maybe start a family. It's just like you're so behind on the 8 ball. And it's like it's disheartening. And we're starting to see it. Like the black community, I would say, is the most extreme example. But we're starting to see this now throughout society, where nobody's being taught any. There's no men in any household. Then these niggas are getting sent to school being feminized energy because a female teacher is the same as being a single mother household.
Yep.
So now you're getting these feminized boys with no skills, no math, no reading. They're lost, and they just wasting away their fucking 20s and 30s, not doing anything, just existing. So what happens to a society on a mass scale when you get to that point? That's what I'm worried about in the future.
Annihilation. Think about it. You got male muscles, man physique, man strength, man power, bitch emotions. That's dangerous, bro.
Very dangerous. Men don't understand that because if you could be triggered by words as a man, they're not threats. Like threats are different because you tell me you're gonna do something to me, hey, I gotta come handle that.
Right.
I can't. I just have to assume that that's what you trying to do. I'll be stupid not to. I gotta act on a threat. But if you just talking crazy to me, and for me to want to go out and go kill you, or do some harm, fuck up society because it's something that you don't like, that touches your feelings, your fucking illy feelings. We can't have that. You a liability, not just like to society, but like as an ally.
Do slave.
Because that means you will vote. That means you will spend your money or anything that would make, like, how can I put it? Like that, like the cancel culture. When you start to think about it, a lot of times I don't think the cancel culture is actually women. I think a lot of times the cancel culture is dudes. I think women. So. I think a lot of times women secretly love savages talking, and they kind of love to hear the truth. They don't want to hear it. Like, how can I put it? Like, I think that's why Kevin Samuels is so popular. They hated Kevin Samuels. They had to talk to him directly, but they love watching it.
Yeah,
women like drama.
It kept them in touch with some form of reality.
You think women secretly yearn that?
Yes. Most women know that they're being lied to and programmed.
Yeah. They just don't have a man that they trust to be like, hey, baby, that shit's stupid. You're not that smart. Stop playing. I'll make you smarter, but you ain't. Okay, so that's what I figured. Because, like, people always tell me, oh, you get canceled. Man, it's only sensitive ass dudes that be trying to cancel motherfuckers because it hurts.
Right.
And then maybe like some, I don't know, those lesbian feminists, I guess maybe they might try to, with the purple hair and shit. But your average woman, but your average woman, she loves that shit. That's like her drama show.
Yeah.
They like, people love train wrecks. Yeah, but anyway, we're gonna go ahead and shut down for the night, man. This is a good one.
This is a great one, man.
That's really good numbers too. Yeah.
Keep doing what you've been doing with young men. It may not seem like it has much impact now, but when they come back 10, 15, 25, 30 years later, man, it's an amazing thing.
I know.
My uncle who passed.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah. No, finish that thought, please.
Oh. I lost some people who had such an impact on me because of what they did when I was younger, in my youth, who shaped where I am now. Because they kept the ball and it kept my eye on manhood. And they didn't let me get tossed to and fro with the cares of the world. This world makes you think that this world is all that there is. It's not.
It's a small little.
It's just all that's in front of you for right now.
All right, with that, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream. Stay on a little bit longer thought so we can chat up afterwards.
Okay.